What's up?
YouTube, what are YouTube, man? I'm back with another banger yet. We got LA gang leader killed his artist for making a diss song, dump this body on the highway.
Oh!
I've been seeing on my phone about Buddy and Adrian Broner had something going on about how he tricked them for some money. I don't know what the hell going on too. You feel me? I heard that Big U, you feel me, one of the legends of, you know what I'm saying? You know what's going on, right? Boom. What the hell we in for too? Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe. You subscribe, click that bell for you, boy. I'm ready to see what this about. Apparently, this is some crazy news. This is a wild story from what I seen on my phone. You feel me? I ain't seen this, but from what I seen on my phone, I'm ready to see what Buddy got to say. Like, comment, subscribe, my nigga. How the hell we get to the field?
To take down DNA, he wouldn't give them his DNA, so they had to serve him a search warrant to get his DNA.
And then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in.
Oh, really? They gotta have an experience before they realize, damn, I should have checked in. I'm tripping. But he wasn't playing, huh? Whole crime scene. What that be about? You feel me? I done seen some clips that I guess he gonna talk about it. But he gonna say he gonna speak on what's been going on.
Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise.
Whoa. Hold on, bro. Don't tell me he would. Hold on, bro. Let them keep talking. He got a career criminal, and then they throwing somebody charity in there. The hell he was doing with the charity?
Engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
Fraud.
Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement.
That boy got a RICO on him.
Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive.
I thought he turned himself in.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample libraries. This is Arcade by Output. This thing has sounds, samples, instruments.
Another RICO had just took place that had prominent figures in that indictment. This time we're going to Los Angeles, family, where we talk about the Rolling 60s Crips, a gang that was well known for people like Big U, a man that's also in this indictment. Also associated with this gang was the late rapper, may he rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Big U always has some form of talks surrounding his demise. Who put the hit out? Who was in control? Is it still real leadership that someone in your own gang, who's not technically the boss, take out such prominent figure in Nipsey Hussle? Also in this indictment is a man who recently made his waves in podcasting on No Jumper. A man who go by the name of Brick Baby, alongside 18 other defendants. Today we go over the story. With so much speculation throughout the years, we finally have confirmation in black and white. Recently, the feds have listed a number of events: extortion, politicking, and the damaging of them all. Murder. The murder of a high school standout football player.
That's what they clip
was the best friend of Big U's son. Was also a rapper. And according to the feds, he made a diss song, which we'll later discuss. And after making that diss song, which seems to aim at Big U, that man was found deceased, thrown in the middle of the highway. Now, what make this story even more crazy,
Big U did.
This was brought up about 6 days ago by WAC 100, a man who allegedly is a leader of the Bloods gang, once friends with Big U, but lately they turned enemies. And I find it ironic that Big U get indicted just 6 days later, which some people thought was just mere speculation. Today we go over this indictment, talk about each count, go over the events that's listed in this indictment, and see where they stand today. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember.
What the hell? Two. Y'all hearing what I'm hearing, bro? Like, I'm thinking, like, what? I was wondering why the hell he put a football clip in here at the beginning of the video, but I did not think that was gonna be why. That's crazy. Let's keep this going, bro. What y'all thinking so far? Y'all think Buddy done? He done.
You know, Angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Do that.
We'll jump right to it.
Do that.
Meet Eugene Big U Henley, a Crips leader who helped launch Nipsey Hussle's career and was dubbed rap's godfather by people like Wiz Khalifa. He recently has been accused of murder, kidnapping, robbery, extortion, fraud by federal authorities. As part of Big U purported grip on Los Angeles, his alleged victims were required to check in with Henley before arriving in the city in order to obtain quote-unquote protection. According to the 107-page federal complaint unveiled today, among those Big U allegedly extorted were professional athletes and musicians.
What?
The complaint said whose business interests were not always legitimate. Federal authorities likened Big U Enterprise to a, quote, mafia-like organization, end quote, that relies on his stature and long-standing associates with the Rolling 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals in L.A. Authorities said today in a press conference, which we'll later check out, that Big U is a fugitive on the run, and more than a dozen others are in custody tied to a sprawling criminal case. The U.S. District Attorney, quote, Big U has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur, running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community of Los Angeles. The U.S. Attorney Joseph had, quote, the facts alleged in the complaint, a very different picture. There's one of a murder,
done for forever.
A liar, and a chief of the criminals that enabled him. Following a years-long FBI investigation, federal authorities have accused Big U of kidnapping and fatally shooting a young rapper in the face and leaving his body in the Las Vegas desert over perceived disrespect, which we'll later discuss in further details. According to the indictment, in directing the robbery of an unlicensed LA marijuana dispensary that had stopped making extortion payments. This was 107 pages, fam. But Big U also allegedly defrauded companies, donors, athletes, and celebrities. Including professional basketball player Draymond Green, former NBA MVP Shaquille O'Neal, persuading them to donate to his charities, and later alleging transferring the money to his own personal bank accounts. Authorities also have accused Big U to fraudulently obtaining funding from the Game Reduction and Youth Development Program, overseen by the LA's.
This nigga might be the biggest finesse of all time. That boy was getting over on donators, Shaq, Draymond. It said something about Adrian Brown. Like that boy, that was the biggest finesse ever, ain't he? That ain't Big U.
Mayor's office. Now, the backstory on Big U, he previously served 13 years in prison after trying to rob an undercover sheriff's deputy of 33 pounds of cocaine in 1991. His son is a linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers.
This weekend, and one former WSU Cougar was lucky enough to hear his name called in the third round.
Crim 2's Andrew Quinn sat down with Deion Henley to discuss his big day.
Well, it's the call every football player longs to hear, and it came on day 2 of the 2023 NFL Draft for Deion Henley, and it just so happened to be from one of his hometown teams.
That's so crazy, bro. He's signing the league and he's doing that.
Just to be home and be able to be in my city and be a Charger is probably the greatest feeling. Something I couldn't even imagine.
The Los Angeles Chargers drafted Henley with the 85th overall pick in the third round. It may have been a longer wait than Henley expected for the call, but he is keeping it all in perspective.
I was a 2-star recruit out of high school. Didn't have a position. I redshirted as a junior in college. It's not normal. So to go to the third is a blessing. If I was to go undrafted, if I was to slide to the 7th, what people fail to realize is I would still be going to the NFL. So
facts, though. I ain't spending facts, though.
The situation and where I am.
Henley shined as a senior at WSU, finishing second in the Pac-12 in tackles and becoming a finalist for the Dick Butkus Award. He credits the WSU coaching staff for preparing him so well for the NFL.
I spent a lot of time in that film room, a lot of time with my coaches talking and having extra conversations. Coach Dickard, asking him a million questions because I knew that he had knowledge upon my position and just eating off of those with greater knowledge than I have in the sport that I love.
Henley now joins a defense filled with longtime NFL stars, and he hopes to soak up even more knowledge to help improve his game.
Shout out Spark Bob. I'm trying to be the biggest sponge above ocean level and take in with anything I can, you know. I just aspire to.
Hey, buddy, going stupid in the highlight. I'm looking at the highlight. I ain't even listening to what he's saying.
Player eventually.
I'm trying to hear him about this. Him taking from Shaq though.
Wear number 0 in LA, and when I asked Dayon why
younger in the face, left him in the desert.
I'm the first Charger to ever wear that number, and I'm thinking of making a statement and starting my career by doing something no one has ever done before. The Ranger is already standing out in his early NFL.
Also, according to this indictment, Big U, alleged right-hand man, Sylvester Robinson, and trustee Lieutenant Mark Martin are accused of violating the RICO Act. Now, authorities also have charged Tremaine Williams, a.k.a. Lucci Cannon, with robbery, Armani Afaji, a.k.a. Monty, with transporting an individual to engage in prostitution, and Frederick Blayton Jr. and Tiffany Hines with bank fraud. All of them are in custody, except Big U. In an affidavit filed with the criminal complaint, Andrew Rosa, a special agent with the FBI, said members and associates of the Big U enterprise used Big U's and the group's history and reputation to, quote, control, end quote, Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation. Now, that's funny because Big U once did an interview on $1 Million Worth of Game with Wallow and Gilly, and he spoke about how he handled disputes or problems within his own camp. Also, on this show, or on this episode rather, was Rock 100. Check out about 60 seconds.
But let me tell you, she tell a nigga, you know, I don't even think it was for the rest of the table to hear.
Listen closely
to it. She tell a nigga on some deep shit. She said, yeah, nigga, because you're getting soft.
What?
And he say, hey,
so let me tell you.
No, hold on. He said, no, hold on, wait, hold on. After I tell his story. But, so, you know me.
It was more to the story.
I'm instigating. Damn. Getting soft. So now it's out the whole table. She looked right at me, yeah, Gilly. Nigga getting soft. So now he gotta say, now he gotta speak up. No. See, what I tell you about, I ain't getting so. One of my homies was at the house, and he did something she ain't like. She wanted me to break the nigga arm, and I ain't break the nigga. Yeah, she looked at him and said, listen, she looked at him and said, yeah, you should have broken his fucking arm.
That's all. I'm gonna give you an analogy. She let me in, I go to sleep. Now, catch this analogy. You remember how you called me about Lil Youngster, our little family? He did some fuck shit? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so you could have cut his head off? Yeah. Or cut an ear off? But we don't. Stacy was like, you should have cut the nigga ear off. Or you should have did something to him.
Broke like, the nigga arm.
Damn. The only difference is Stacey the reason why a woman doesn't rule a nation. Reason why a woman shouldn't rule a nation because she will rule with emotion. And a man won't. Because I understand. Sometimes if I do something, let me explain it to you.
But you acted off emotion.
No, you telling me
you just beat a whole.
Whoever it was one like our little dude. It didn't warrant me because I could have lost more by being physical with one of the little homies who did something wrong. Or I could have let that go and let everybody else see that I show mercy sometimes.
But he shot him in the face though. You feel me? I'm gonna keep bringing that up. Like well, allegedly. That's what they say. They say they got enough to say that he did. Let one go in the face and left him in the desert. On the other highway. Well, hold on. Did he leave? I thought he said dump it down. So he shot him in the... What? It's a highway? It's a desert highway? Is that what I don't know. I'm a little geek too. So let's just keep rocking now. Let's just keep reacting. See what else he finna say, bro.
In her mind, it's no. Cut his ear off. You should at least cut his ear off. You should have got something. But every time you don't use bronze.
So it's safe to say that it was growth involved.
It was growth. That's she was like, no, you getting soft. She like, you should have, and I'm like, no. But look at where now. If we don't do it that way, never had another problem since then. Still doing everything.
But hold on, though, bro. If we don't do it that way, and we taking count, then they telling us we should make better decisions.
And we being too mean. You know, I learned from youngsters. Let me tell you something. I had a situation having one of my homeboys. He didn't pay a debt. And he didn't do something. And I called one of my other homies and said, look, bring him to me. So when he got to me, but before he got to my other homie said, you like Pops, you know, you like, Like, man, you had niggas scared in the world because we can't make one mistake. And so, ever since my little homeboy said that to me, and he was basically talking for sympathy for somebody else. He wasn't even the one who was on the table. But he made me realize, like, okay, you can't just be bronze all the way. And I hate to give a story on one of my close friends.
Well, here go the problem
from Main
with that.
Street.
But you know what the problem was, right? With that.
Let me give you one more story.
Here go the problem, though,
Dell Dog.
Now, the feds claimed that the Big U Enterprise was a front for promoting himself as a reformed gang focused on bettering the community. But now you got a pretty good idea on who Big U is, well, at least according to the public. Let's talk about the details in this paperwork, starting with the Las Vegas killer. Fam, meet Rayshawn Williams. He was a wide receiver for Crenshaw High. He lived with Big U because he was the best friend to Big U's son, who now played for the Chargers. 5 days before his demise in January of 2021, Rayshawn Williams recorded a diss song. In his affidavit, the agent said he believed that Williams' diss song was about Big U, whose independent record label, Unique Music, was representing the 21-year-old rapper. Now, it's unclear whether Big U heard diss lyrics prior to the killing, according to the complaint. In the diss song, Williams referred to Big U as the, quote, bro that makes some money, end quote. Now, Williams rapped himself that he might get himself shot in the face for thinking shit funny. He mentioned a .38 revolver with no trace. Now, 5 days later after that diss song, Las Vegas police found Williams' body in a ditch near a landfill on January 25th, 2021. May he rest in peace. Beloved condolences to his family.
That's
He been shot in the
crazy,
face
dude.
with a revolver that left no shell casings. According to the affidavit, Unique Music paid the Flat Williams from California to Las Vegas in January 2021 and put him up in an Airbnb. His family said Big U had coached the young rapper in football since he was young. Williams was supposed to spend a week at the recording studio and record a song a day, but he missed some days. When Williams didn't show up to the studio on January 23rd, 2021, investigators said Big U and Robinson drove from LA to Las Vegas
All
to
over a
confront
song.
him. A friend of Williams, identified only as CA, recounted that Big U arrived at the Airbnb around 2 a.m. on January 24th, 2021. Big U asked why Williams hadn't shown up to the studio. CA told the authorities Williams claimed he didn't have a ride. Quote, I believe Williams wasting the time, thereby disparring Big U name and the Big U Enterprise reputation, and potentially flaunting that disrespect with the lyrics of the diss song led to a dispute, according to the feds. But nonetheless, they headed to the studio. Big U arrived at the studio about 7 p.m. Williams arrived a couple hours after and recorded until midnight. Witnesses told authorities about
what I'm hearing. He was trying to get a real record label going, like, go back to not being soft, like your girl was saying. You feel me? She was leaning on down the wrong way. That what I'm getting out of it. Even though it probably went hard. It probably been going. He was on that. What it was 2 years ago or whatever they supposed to have went down. That's crazy though.
4:30 a.m., Big U left the studio. The dark gray Lexus that he and Robinson had driven to the studio was no longer there. According to the feds, shortly before 1 a.m., Big U phone stopped reporting locations data and didn't start again until about 2:15 a.m. Surveillance footage at the Airbnb where Williams was staying captured a dark gray and silver sedan, arriving about 1:13 a.m. According to the complaint, Williams got out of the passenger side of the car, went inside, and returned a few minutes later with a suitcase. Despite the fact that the Airbnb was rented for another day and he was not set to leave on a flight until the following day. Around 3 a.m., a witness said Big U returned to the studio alone. The witness said Big U appeared to be drenched in either sweat or water. Now at this point you figure Big U know exactly who this witness is, because according to the feds, Big U told the witness he was coming back from the gym, according to the complaint. Hours later, on January 25th, 2021, at around 9 a.m., Williams' body was found in a ditch. He had died of multiple gunshot wounds. He was shot in the face. Authorities compared DNA collected from Williams' body to Big U's DNA profile. The result was inconclusive, but Big U, quote, could not be excluded, end quote, as a suspect, according to the complaint. Also documented in the complaint following the homicide, Big U allegedly arranged for recording equipment from the studio to be removed and surveillance video to be destroyed. The feds wrote that they...
I don't think he actually did it. I'm not gonna kill. I don't think he did that. He maybe have somebody do it, high chance. I don't think he went and did that, bro. I don't think he would. It's stupid. You feel me? Had little bro killed, however that went down. That's crazy. That's, even though if this could have been a coincidence for little bro to just get his life took, it's wow. But I know he went that stupid to do it himself. He went and killed bro.
Believe the footage would have shown an altercation between Big U and Williams the night of the killing, and at minimum, Big U and Williams leaving the studio together shortly before Williams' murder. A month after Williams' death, the FBI LA Metropolitan Task Force on Violent Games launched an investigation into Big U Enterprise and its association with the Rolling 60s. Now, in this indictment, it also points out that Big U is considered an original gangster, an OG. Big U is an admitted member and original gangster, or OG, of the Rolling 60s, as someone who, quote, widely regarded as a leader, end quote, within the game. Now, this is where they do the check-ins. But before we do that, listen to what Big U have to say in regards to what checking in means. Check it out.
The youngsters get out and then they have to have an experience before they realize I should have checked in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or I should have called, or I should have been moving a certain way. And so they get out and they might be under your banner, but then they not respecting the banner. They ain't calling you. They got your number. Mm-hmm. They know who you is, but they feel like they bigger than the program. You know, you got a lot of dudes, like when I was here last time, they claim my neighborhood that's in this music shit, but they don't really fuck with us until it's a problem. Then they call them. Like Quando Rondo. I just showed Envy. Like, you can't call me now. You can't call me when the fire hot.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't fuck with me before that. You know what I mean? You had my number. You could have called me. You could have did all that. You know what I mean? But he was around about. But how is that fair to me? How is that?
So now you know how Big U feel. In 2020.
Hey, boy, you know Big U been in the game for a little minute, but every time he speaks, it's in code. Like, he ain't speaking in that code, like code words for this, code word for that, but he's speaking in code, if you get what I'm saying, bro.
According to the feds, they interviewed a witness identified as CW1, corroborating witness 1, who claimed that rap artists, athletes, and other visitors needed to pay Big U a fee when they came to the city. CW1 told authorities about a large buy-in dice game in LA in June 2019. The game involved a professional boxer, identified only as AB, AB's associates, and several prominent NBA players. According to CW1, AB and his associates fixed the game, cheating the NBA players out of millions of dollars.
Dang, Agent Brown cheated the game. I thought he was getting cheated out the money.
Big U directed his associates to rough up AB, who had not checked in with Big U, and to get the money back from him on behalf of the cheated NBA players. Multiple members of the Rolling 60s allegedly arrived and were used to press AB.
Hold on, wait. Let me take that back, because I'm lost. That you just lost me, bro. I'm a little geek, y'all. Let me make sure I heard that right. Cause I'm hearing that he told AB was going with Brady to be like, hey, we finna get over on the evening. Hold on, no. Let's see what's going on.
And several prominent NBA players. According to CW1, AB and his associates fixed the game, cheating the NBA players out of millions of dollars using teased dice. After the game, according to the feds, Big U directed his associates to rough up AB, who had not checked in with Big U, and to get the money back from him on behalf of the cheated NBA players. Multiple members of the Rolling 60s allegedly arrived and were used to press AB. Big U stepped in. CW1 told authorities, quote, because he was involved in and/or would approve of any dice games or similar events, such as parties involving large sums of money and prominent NBA players and celebrities, end quote, in the city. According to the complaint, CW1 knew other times in which NBA players or celebrities would need to get approval in advance from Big U to ensure their safeties at events such as parties, games, or advertising shoots. CW1 said the celebrities would have to pay Big U for protection and approval or face retaliation from Big U Enterprise.
That's crazy. You gotta go through him.
And someone identified.
You gotta go through him to get your protection, or he gonna send them boys at you. That's crazy. Adrian Broner would probably like, hey, I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go do this, hit this little probably always go do that in LA. But this time he probably ain't just, you know what I'm saying? He probably ain't been hitting up Big U to probably the last few times. Big U probably like, no. But you gotta check in, boy. What the hell is you got going on? For the hell, don't come get that from you, boy. You feel me? This is a wild situation, Big U. I'm telling you, he the world's biggest finesse of the time, like.
Only as victim 1. Big U recounting that he got into it with AB after AB cheated a current NBA All-Star out of $1.5 million and a former NBA All-Star out of $5 million. Big U also talked about charging the players $100,000 to get their money back. In a podcast Big U hosted called Checking In that was on World Star Hip Hop, he said every city he goes to, he quote, I check in with somebody, end quote. But he has denied charging fees for those coming to LA, quote, I never made no athlete, no rapper give me nothing.
Burn a lot, $5 million.
Big U said in the interview with Genius, a digital media company, they reach out to me because they feel a connection to me and my neighborhood for whatever that reason. Now the next segment in this complaint will be titled How to Rob Yourself. The complaint laid out various robberies allegedly carried by Big U Enterprise, including one at an unlicensed marijuana dispensary in LA on June 5th, 2021. In that case, the victim told authorities he'd been paying Enterprise up to $25,000 per month in extortion fees. After he stopped paying, he said nearly a dozen of Big U Enterprise members and associates, along with Rolling 60 members, rushed into the dispensary armed with firearms. They were not wearing masks to obscure their identities. They allegedly stole cash and marijuana from the store before fleeing. That same day, Big U allegedly invited the victim to his home, where he laid out what had been stolen from the dispensary. Quote, that's how you rob yourself, end quote, Big U allegedly had said. The feds wrote, throughout their investigation, the FBI obtained recordings of Big U Enterprise members and associates discussing robberies that they were doing or planned to do. In one case, the feds say that he heard Big U on a wiretap planning a robbery of people who had stolen equipment from a celebrity rapper using the Apple AirTag that was with the equipment. Big U, Mitchell, and others got guns and began their stage of robbery. They called it off.
Boy, this here is wildin', dude. Like, it gets crazier and crazier and crazier. AirTags, man. Dude. Buddy was wildin'. Buddy was, boy, this, man, he was losing it, boy. He was having too much fun with it, the control he had.
After spotting police arrived at the location. According to the complaint, Big U organized a birthday party at Deja Vu for himself in December of 2021. He allegedly negotiated to receive roughly 33% of the bar proceeds and promised that famous rappers, including Wiz Khalifa and T.I., would attend. The night of the birthday party, Big U, Robinson, Martin, and others associates turned up at the club. A victim told authorities he watched as Robinson, Martin, and 3 other associates took a different victim into a back room and extorted $30,000 from him. And by the way, fam, none of the promised celebrity rappers arrived, according to the complaint. Now here's the alleged fraud of the complaint. Authorities also accuse Big U of fraudulently obtaining funding from the LA mayor's office through the Gang Reduction Youth Development Program. Since around 2015, according to the feds, Big U nonprofit Development Options has received $550,000 annually as part of the program. The nonprofit was allotted over $2.3 million from the city from July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2023. From that, according to the feds, Big U has drawn hundreds of thousands of dollars, purportedly in salary. According to the complaint, the GRYD program, quote, has extensive mandatory handbook that is apprehended to each contract and that Development Options, like every other GRYD contractor, must comply with, end quote. Among many requirements are extensive criminal background checks, compliance, training, approval of employees, attendance at meetings, logging activities, and cooperating with local law enforcement. Fraudulently, Big U allegedly applied for federal pandemic relief loans for Development Options, Unique Music, and other businesses. Finally, authorities accuse Big U of committing wire fraud by embezzling more than $100,000 in donations to Development Options. Although none of the donors were identified in the complaint, the names was confirmed by federal sources and public interviews. Among them was Draymond Green, who made a $20,000 donation to Development Options in August of 2019. Big U allegedly embezzled the entire donation, transferring the funds to his personal checking account. Another was Shaquille O'Neal, who wrote a $20,000 check intended to support Development Options at the Crenshaw Rams youth sports team. Big U allegedly transferred most of the money to his bank account. As of now, Big U is not apprehended, but he faced up to 20 years for the RICO charge, but could get a life sentence. The jury has agreed to commit the murder specifically. Now, I know that was a lot, but we're talking about 105 pages, years worth of evidence. Shout out to Las Vegas Fox, the local news, $1 million worth of game, New York Times, and the Las Vegas Times. Not to mention the LA Times. And this was the story of a prominent gang member who's been indicted by the feds on a RICO charge by acts of murder, extortion, and many more. As more develop, I'll keep you guys updated. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I feel like that was one of the craziest videos I ever reacted to. I ain't know Buddy was out here doing all that. I'm thinking it's just Lil Hun here, Lil Hun there. Buddy, it went deep to my something 2015, Buddy been out here, you feel me, finessing, thugging. He's gone, controlling, taking over the city. He one of the biggest, you feel me, crooks it is. But you feel me? I feel like he was having too much fun with his power, bro. Like, he really got it. It probably just, in his head, he probably was way more powerful than he really is in reality, and how quick everything can be snatched away from you whenever they ready to be like, all right, let's get down on that. You feel me? Dang, bro. That's crazy. But we're going to see how it turn out. We're going to see what real and what ain't real as the story continue to unfold and all that. But I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that one. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe. You subscribe, click that bell for your boy. I'd appreciate that a lot, man. Want to roll to 5,000 subs. We're inching closer and closer each vid. It's 3:14 in the morning. And I'm trying to get this vid for y'all. Guys, just seen it. I was finna just sit here and watch it. But I'm like, nah, I can react to this. So I ain't even click on it. Came here, watched it with y'all, you feel me? But I'm out, man. Finna go to sleep. Peace out.